half of these games you've probably been sleeping on. The other half you've heard about but kept saying, "I'll play them someday." Well, consider this your intervention. While you're stuck replaying the same old games, these 18 masterpieces are out there being straight up 10/10s, and you're missing out. Some already got sequels that'll totally spoil the original experience. Time's ticking. Let's get to the list. 1. A Plague Tale: Innocence. Man, A Plague Tale: Innocence hit me harder than I expected. You start this game thinking it's just another stealth adventure set in medieval times, and then suddenly you're emotionally attached to these two kids running for their lives through a world eaten alive by rats and plague. The way Amicia protects her little brother Hugo feels so real, like she's doing everything she can to hold on to hope when everything's falling apart. What really blew me away is how grounded everything feels. It's not about power or revenge, it's about survival, love, and sacrifice. The pacing is perfect. Moments of silence that make your heart race just as much as the action scenes. And the world itself, absolutely gorgeous, but in that haunting, decayed kind of way. You can feel the pain of that world, the desperation in every whisper and footstep. The storytelling here is so powerful that when it finally hits those emotional moments, man, it just breaks you. This isn't just a stealth game, it's a reminder of how far people will go for the ones they love. If you skip this one, you're missing out on one of the most human stories gaming has ever told. Detroit: Become Human. If there's one game that made me question literally every decision I've ever made in a game, it's Detroit: Become Human. It's not just a story about androids. It's a mirror held right up to your face, asking, what kind of person are you, really? Every single choice matters, and not in that fake illusion of choice kind of way. No, here your actions genuinely reshape the story. One decision can turn a hero into a villain, or spark a revolution that changes the world. And the crazy part is, you carry that responsibility. You can't just reload and pretend it didn't happen. You feel the weight of your choices. The performances are unreal. Connor, Kara, Marcus, they're not characters, they're people. You see fear, hope, pain, rebellion, all of it captured in their eyes. And the storylines intertwine so smoothly that every replay feels like discovering a brand new movie. What really gets me, though, is how personal it becomes. It's not about good or bad, it's about empathy. By the time it ends, you realize this isn't science fiction, it's a reflection of us. And that's what makes Detroit: Become Human a 10 out of 10. Not because of graphics or tech, but because it dares to make you think. 3. Just Cause 4 Reloaded. You ever play a game that just screams, "Go nuts"? That's Just Cause 4. And look, not every masterpiece needs to be deep or emotional. Sometimes a game is 10 out of 10 because it makes you laugh like an idiot while everything explodes around you. And Just Cause 4 absolutely nails that. You play as Rico Rodriguez, this unstoppable chaos magnet who treats physics like a joke. Grappling hook? Check. Wingsuit? Of course. A literal tornado tearing through the map? Oh yeah, that's just another Tuesday for Rico. What makes it special isn't the realism, it's the freedom. You can attach a jet engine to a car, launch it into a volcano, and then surf on top of it mid-flight, and the game just says, yeah, go ahead. It's creativity through chaos. And when you actually dive into the missions, there's a surprising amount of strategy hidden beneath the explosions. You're basically leading a revolution one ridiculous stunt at a time. The world is huge, dynamic, and begging to be broken. Every time I play Just Cause 4, I lose hours just experimenting and laughing. It's not about perfection, it's about pure fun. And sometimes that's exactly what gaming needs more of. If chaos had a name, it'd be Rico Rodriguez, and I love him for it. 4. Hollow Knight. Let's be real. Hollow Knight is one of those games that reminds you why you fell in love with gaming in the first place. It doesn't yell for your attention, it whispers it. It pulls you into this quiet, broken world called Hallownest, and suddenly you're lost in a maze of beauty and sadness. There's something magical about how little the game explains. No big tutorial, no quest markers, just you, your instincts, and this hauntingly beautiful world to explore. Every corner feels alive, every enemy has purpose, and every victory feels earned. The combat? Tight. The bosses? Brutal. But it's not just about skill, it's about patience and discovery. You slowly piece together this ancient world story through whispers, symbols, and hidden details. It's the kind of storytelling that rewards curiosity instead of rushing you forward. And man, the soundtrack. It hits at all the right times. You'll be fighting for your life one second and sitting quietly the next, listening to a sad violin that somehow makes you feel everything at once. What makes Hollow Knight a 10 out of 10 isn't just how good it plays, it's how deeply it connects. It's dark, emotional, and endlessly rewarding. If you've got even a hint of love for exploration or challenge, trust me, this is one of the best journeys you'll ever take. 5. Red Dead Redemption 2. All right, let's get this out of the way. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't just a game, it's an experience. I still remember the first time I rode out of Valentine at sunset with that soundtrack kicking in. Man, that moment lives rent-free in my head. This game doesn't rush you, it lets you exist in its world. You feel every breath of wind through the plains, every drop of rain on your coat. Every moral decision you make as Arthur Morgan, one of the most layered and tragic characters ever written. And that's the thing, you don't just play Arthur, you become him. You start to think like him, feel his guilt, his loyalty, his regret. Rockstar crafted a world that feels so alive, it almost hurts to leave it. NPCs remember you, your horse becomes your best friend, and the attention to detail, unreal. But what makes it a perfect 10 out of 10 isn't the graphics or realism, it's the heart. It's how the story hits you, slowly, quietly, until you realize you're emotionally destroyed by the end. Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't about shooting or looting, it's about humanity. And man, no game has ever captured it better.
Six, Alan Wake Remastered. Now this one is for the storytellers out there. Alan Wake Remastered is that perfect mix between mystery, psychological horror, and pure cinematic brilliance. The game plays out like a TV thriller. Think Twin Peaks meets Stephen King. You play as Alan, a writer trapped in his own nightmare, where everything he writes starts to come true. The pacing is incredible. It keeps you hooked, always wanting to know more, but never giving you enough to feel safe. Every flickering streetlight, every shadow in the woods, you just know something's there watching you. The combat may seem simple, flashlight, gun, repeat, but the atmosphere makes every encounter nerve-wracking. You never feel powerful, you feel desperate. And the soundtrack, pure gold. What I love most is how the game plays with the idea of storytelling itself. It's about creation, obsession, and losing yourself in your art. Even years later, few games have managed to blend narrative and gameplay like this. Alan Wake Remastered isn't just scary, it's poetic. And if you love stories that get under your skin and stay there long after the credits roll, this one is a masterpiece you can't skip.
7. Ghost of Tsushima. Man, if I could frame this game and hang it on my wall, I would. Ghost of Tsushima isn't just stunning, it's a living painting in motion. Every frame, every leaf, every gust of wind feels handcrafted by someone who loves samurai culture. You play as Jin Sakai, a warrior torn between honor and survival as he fights to protect his island from Mongol invaders. And that conflict, that inner war between tradition and necessity, drives the whole story. You feel his struggle in every duel and every silent kill. The combat system? It's fluid, fast, and incredibly satisfying. You don't just mash buttons, you dance with your sword. And those standoffs, man, they make you feel like the coolest person alive. But what really makes Ghost of Tsushima perfect is how it respects silence. Sometimes you're just riding through fields of red maple trees, no music, just wind, and it hits you how peaceful and beautiful this brutal world can be. By the end, it's not just about vengeance, it's about identity, sacrifice, and the cost of becoming a legend. This game doesn't just tell a story, it honors it. Truly a 10 out of 10 work of art.
8. Metro Exodus. If Ghost of Tsushima is poetic beauty, Metro Exodus is brutal realism. This game takes everything the Metro series built, claustrophobic tunnels, desperate survival, and finally lets you breathe. Only to realize the surface is just as deadly. You play as Artyom, leading your crew through a post-apocalyptic Russia in search of hope, literally chasing a rumor that there's still life out there. The open-world sections are jaw-dropping, not massive for the sake of size, but dense, lived in, and terrifying. What I love most is how human this game feels. Every conversation, every moment around the campfire reminds you that these people aren't just survivors, they're clinging to their humanity in a world that's lost it. Combat is tense and gritty, ammo feels precious, and stealth actually matters. It's not just about shooting monsters, it's about choosing when to shoot and what that choice costs you. And the atmosphere, man, you can almost smell the dust and feel the cold wind on your face. The world feels heavy, real, and hauntingly quiet. Metro Exodus doesn't need jump scares. The loneliness is enough. It's emotional, raw, and unforgettable. An absolute 10 out of 10 journey through the end of the world.
9. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. You ever play a game that completely ruins other games for you? That's The Witcher 3. Once you've stepped into Geralt's boots, it's hard to go back to anything else. The world feels alive in a way that's honestly scary. Every town, every forest, every random peasant has a story worth stopping for. This game doesn't hold your hand, but that's what makes it magical. You carve your own path through this dark fantasy world full of monsters, moral choices, and heartbreak. And the writing? Man, it's peak. It's not just good for a video game, it's good by any storytelling standard. The side quests are so well written that they could easily be main quests in any other game. One minute you're hunting a griffin, the next you're knee-deep in a moral dilemma about love, betrayal, or survival. And the music. Don't even get me started. That soundtrack hits deep, especially during those quiet moments riding through the countryside at sunset. The Witcher 3 isn't just a 10 out of 10, it's one of those games that defines an era. It makes you realize why you fell in love with gaming in the first place, the immersion, the emotion, the sheer beauty of it all.
10. Far Cry 4. Now, this one's a bit of a hidden gem for a lot of people. Everyone talks about Far Cry 3 or Far Cry 5, but Far Cry 4, man, it's something special. It's chaotic, beautiful, and kind of spiritual at the same time. You're thrown into the mountains of Kyrat, a fictional country inspired by Nepal, caught between rebels, a dictator, and your own moral choices. Pagan Min, the main villain, steals the show instantly. He's this charming, psychotic, unpredictable guy who keeps you guessing the entire game. But what I love most about Far Cry 4 is the freedom. You can climb mountains, fly in gyrocopters, tame wild beasts, and go full stealth or guns blazing. However you want to play, the game adapts to you. The world itself is breathtaking. Snowy peaks, hidden temples, chaotic firefights, and random animal attacks that always seem to happen when you least expect it. It's that perfect mix of beauty and madness that only Ubisoft used to nail. You'll laugh, you'll panic, and you'll probably set yourself on fire by accident. Far Cry 4 might not reinvent the formula, but it perfects it. And for me, that makes it a solid, no question, 10 out of 10.
11. Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn blew my mind when it dropped. It's one of those games that make you stop mid-combat just to stare at the scenery. The world is gorgeous, a wild, overgrown Earth ruled by robotic dinosaurs. I mean, come on, that alone sells it. You play as Aloy, one of the most compelling protagonists ever. She's fierce, smart, and full of curiosity. And her journey to uncover the truth about the world is genuinely emotional. The story dives deep into the fall of humanity and what comes after, and it's surprisingly hopeful. The combat is where the game really shines. It's not about brute force, it's about strategy. You're constantly scanning enemies, setting traps, and picking apart these mechanical beasts piece by piece. Every fight feels like a puzzle, and when you finally take down a Thunderjaw, it's pure dopamine. The game also nails pacing. There's exploration, discovery, mystery, and moments of calm that make the world feel truly alive. Horizon Zero Dawn is one of those games that feels both epic and intimate at the same time. A 10 out of 10 that proves open-world games can still feel fresh, emotional, and meaningful.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now here's a game that doesn't care about fantasy monsters or magic swords. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is about reality, and somehow that makes it way more brutal than most RPGs. You're just a guy, not a hero, not a chosen one, trying to survive in medieval Bohemia. The game forces you to live and think like a real person from that era. You have to eat, sleep, train, and actually learn how to fight. But that's what makes it so addictive. Every victory feels earned. When you finally win a duel after hours of practice, it's incredibly satisfying. The world itself is massive, detailed, and shockingly authentic. No glowing waypoints or magic arrows guiding you, you have to use your brain. The story is also deeper than people give it credit for. It's full of politics, revenge, faith, and moral choices that genuinely affect how people see you. And visually, it's stunning. The forests, the villages, the armor, it's all handcrafted to feel real. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 isn't a game you just play, it's a game you live in. It's hard, unforgiving, and insanely rewarding. Easily one of the most immersive medieval experiences ever made.
13. The Last of Us. If you've ever said a video game can't make you cry, The Last of Us will prove you wrong, brutally. This isn't just a story about zombies, it's about people, about love, loss, survival, and what it means to still have hope when everything's gone to hell. You play as Joel, a man who's lost almost everything, and Ellie, a girl who somehow still believes in something. Their journey isn't just across a destroyed America, it's through pain, trust, and heartbreak. The storytelling here, unreal. Every single scene feels handcrafted to break your heart and rebuild it. And yeah, the gameplay's tight, but what really sticks with you is the atmosphere. That feeling of walking through empty towns where nature has taken over everything. The silence, the tension, the quiet moments between Joel and Ellie that feel more human than most movies. It's one of those rare games that changes how you see the medium. It's raw, emotional, and unforgettable. Easily one of the greatest gaming experiences ever made. And the fact that the remaster still hits just as hard, proof that this one's a timeless 10 out of 10. 14. Mafia Definitive Edition. Now, this is how you do a remake. Mafia Definitive Edition isn't just a nostalgia trip. It's a full-blown cinematic experience. You play as Tommy Angelo, a simple cab driver who gets pulled into the criminal underworld during the 1930s. From the moment you step into Lost Heaven, you feel the weight of the era. The cars, the music, the rain-soaked streets, everything oozes style and atmosphere. The story hits like a classic gangster movie. It's not about explosions or open-world chaos. It's about loyalty, betrayal, and ambition. What really makes Mafia special is how grounded it is. Every mission feels like a movie scene, from tense car chases to emotional confrontations that make you question your own choices. Tommy isn't some super soldier. He's just a guy trying to survive in a dirty world. By the time the credits roll, you're left sitting there in silence, thinking about how it all went down. It's storytelling done right. Simple, emotional, and unforgettable. A perfect example of why sometimes less is more.
15. God of War Ragnarok. Now this is what peak gaming feels like. God of War Ragnarok takes everything the 2018 game did and cranks it up to 11. The world feels bigger, the stakes are higher, and the emotional punches hit even harder. Kratos isn't just an angry god anymore. He's a father struggling to do right by his son while his own past keeps haunting him. The relationship between Kratos and Atreus is honestly one of the best written in gaming. It feels real. They argue, they laugh, they grow, and you grow with them. The combat? Absolutely glorious. Every hit feels powerful. The axe still feels perfect, and switching to the blades of chaos mid-fight is pure adrenaline. The boss fights are insane. They're not just tests of skill, but storytelling moments that make you want to stand up and clap when it's over. But beyond all the action and Norse mythology, Ragnarok is about acceptance, about growing old, letting go, and understanding that even gods aren't invincible. It's cinematic, emotional, and unforgettable. A perfect 10 out of 10 that reminds you why gaming is the best storytelling medium we have.
16. The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim. Even after all these years, Skyrim still refuses to die, and honestly, it deserves that immortality. The moment you hear, "Hey, you're finally awake," you know you're in for something special. What makes Skyrim magical isn't just dragons or shouts or endless quests. It's freedom. Pure, beautiful freedom. You can be whoever you want. A thief sneaking through the shadows, a mage mastering ancient spells, or just a chaotic adventure, punching chickens and running from guards. The world feels endless, not because it's the biggest, but because it feels alive. Every cave, every ruin, and every random NPC has something unique to offer. The music still gives me chills. Those strings swelling as you look over the mountains, instant nostalgia. Yeah, it's buggy. Yeah, you've probably bought it 5 times already. But Skyrim isn't just a game. It's a home. A place you keep coming back to because it feels familiar and magical all at once. For me, it's the definition of a timeless masterpiece. A 10 out of 10 that will still be played when we're old and gray, telling our grandkids how we once took an arrow to the knee.
17. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Man, Resident Evil 2 Remake is the definition of how you bring a classic back to life. It's not just a remake, it's a total rebirth. The atmosphere? Absolutely chilling. Every corner you turn in the Raccoon City Police Department feels like it's watching you back. You hear the creaks, the rain, the slow stomp of Mr. X somewhere nearby, and suddenly you forget to breathe. This game doesn't rely on cheap scares, it builds dread. You're constantly balancing limited ammo, solving clever puzzles, and praying that the next hallway isn't your last. It captures that perfect mix of tension and curiosity that makes survival horror so addictive. And Leon and Claire? They're not just survivors, they're icons. Their stories intertwine beautifully, showing 2 sides of the same nightmare. The way Capcom rebuilt every detail, every shadow, every grotesque creature, it's art in the most terrifying way possible. Playing Resident Evil 2 Remake isn't just fun, it's an experience. It keeps your heart racing even after you put down the controller. If you've never played it, You owe it to yourself to get scared the right way. This isn't just a 10 out of 10, it's a masterclass in how to remake perfection.
18. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Sometimes you just need a game that makes you smile, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure is exactly that. It's pure joy wrapped in creativity and charm. Every level feels like a handmade craft project that came to life, full of color, imagination, and that classic PlayStation warmth. You play as Sackboy, this tiny hero made of yarn, but man, he's got more heart than half the protagonists out there. The game constantly surprises you. One minute you're platforming through musical levels synced perfectly with pop songs, the next you're solving puzzles with friends in co-op chaos that always ends in laughter. It's not trying to be the biggest or the most realistic. It's just trying to remind you why you fell in love with gaming in the first place. That feeling of pure wonder, of discovery, of fun for fun's sake. And visually, it's gorgeous. The textures, the fabric details, the lighting, it all feels tangible, like you could reach out and touch it. Sackboy: A Big Adventure is the kind of game that makes bad days better. It's a love letter to creativity and imagination, and honestly, it's a 10 out of 10 in happiness. Alright, so here's the truth. Games like these remind me why I'll never stop playing. It's not just about graphics or trophies, it's about the moments. That feeling when the music hits just right, or when a story makes you stare at the credits in silence. If even one of these games made you feel something, joy, fear, wonder, then yeah, you've experienced real gaming magic. So tell me down below, which of these 10 out of 10s do you think actually deserves the crown? And hey, if you made it this far, drop a like, subscribe, and let's keep celebrating the games that make us lose sleep, but in the best possible way.